Good morning, welcome to Cider House Crafts. My name is Jen. This is Blossom. You can say hi. Say hello. Today is the 15th of December 2020. I'm a day late. We had plumbing problems here. What, you want me to pet you more? Yeah, so sorry about that. Sorry about the day latedness, but I had people come in and pick up boxes to go to Scotland and to Somerset and to other places. And plus I had people on and on my house all day, banging and all sorts of stuff. Yeah, so anyways, I think we're okay today. There's no water anywhere. So, I have 4 films to talk about today. If I glance that way, it's because my list of movies is right there. Hello. How are you? This is my dog. Hello, beautiful. You're a good girl. Yeah, so we're going to talk about that. These are my 2 churches that light up. Ian bought these for me when the year we got back from America, when we lived in America. And that's my manger scene. And behind that, I have a giant Yankee candle that smells lush. Hello. Are you okay? Someone needs attention this morning. Anyway, hi. So, I guess we should dive right in here. The first movie I'm going to talk about that we watched is The Waltons' Christmas. And yeah, it's one of my favorites of the season. Sorry if that light stuff is going in my eyes. I'll try to keep my head down. The Waltons was an American program in the 70s that I think it ran for... Did it run for 10 seasons? I think it might have run for 10 seasons on CBS. And they started out with a Christmas special on CBS. They were written by Earl Hamner. And The Walton Christmas is especially good. The original cast of children and the grandma are in this. The grandfather, the mother, and the father were all changed to Michael Learned, Ralph Waite, and Will Geer, who I love, who does 1940s radio and is amazing. Go get it, Blossom. So this is the story of a family in West Virginia, and they live in the Blue Ridge Mountains. Their dad, it's the Depression, and their dad has to go away to work about 50 miles from their home. And it's Christmas... Excuse me, it's Christmas Eve, and Dad was supposed to be home early, but he's not. They find out there was a bus accident, and the mom sends the oldest boy, John Jr., out to look for his dad. So John goes out to look for his dad. He goes and grabs a car from a local store, or borrows it. I mean, he's pinched it. And he starts to drive around to look for his dad. The car breaks down. He ends up at a Baptist church where the minister is doing some side work to make some extra money because, not a lot of money in preaching. Well, for some people anyway. But, go get it, Blossom. But, anyway, they go to the Baldwin sisters' house, and the Baldwin ladies are 2 bootleggers, and they're very rich. Their dad was a judge, and he's passed away, obviously, by now, because they're older ladies, and they don't have any gas at their house. They can't borrow any gas from them. They don't have any. So they hitch up their sleigh, and they take him out. They get pretty far, and then the road is blocked by a tree, and they have to turn around. John Boy gets back to his house. Now, his mom's very Baptist, and so doesn't like alcohol in our house or anything. John Boy tells his mom, she said, "Who was that?" And he said, "Well, it was the Baldwin ladies." And he's holding a jar of something, and she starts yelling at him, I don't like bootleg whiskey in this house. And John Boy goes, "Well, Mama, it's eggnog." Anyway, things happen. It's a happy ending. And I made it sound not interesting and very monotone. But yeah, it's a really good sort of heartwarming family thing. So if you're into heartwarming and family, yeah, if you're not, watch Die Hard. Which I probably will do by the end of the Christmas period. Yeah, so I really enjoyed the Waltons, and I would always give it 5. I'll give it 5 candy canes this week. So the next movie I'm going to talk about is Bridget Jones's Diary. This film is a favorite of mine. It holds a special place in my heart. When Ian and I were apart at the very beginning of my relationship and seeing each other sporadically, because there was an ocean between us at the time, I watched this film. It sort of brought me back here to England and brought him to America in a way. Now, this might not be the film that you think of for Christmas, but I do. The opening scenes and the last scenes in this film are shot at the holidays. So Bridget is a slightly overweight. She works at a publishing house. I don't think she works as an editor. I think she works in marketing. And she develops this sort of weird relationship with her boss, who is Hugh Grant, and it turns into a relationship, if you get my drift, with benefits. And this relationship sort of snowballs. Bridget is desperate to have someone in her life, I mean, on a regular basis, and, a permanent boyfriend, permanent relationship. And she moves very quickly, and of course this guy, being a philanderer and a pig of sorts, jumps away from this very quickly. He hurts her in the worst way. She catches him with another woman. In the meantime, Colin Firth, who plays Mark Darcy twice now in Pride and Prejudice, and Mr. Darcy. Sorry for anybody who's English. I just mauled your accent. Yeah, he plays Mark Darcy. They meet up at the very beginning of the film in a very unflattering way for Bridget, whose mother has dressed her in what she refers to as a curtain. And it is, oh God, the outfit's so ugly. Anyways, Mark is very rude, talking to his mom about Bridget. And anyway, Bridget starts working for a television station. Bridget and Mark run into each other, it's kind of sporadically, and, unbeknownst to them, they are at a dinner party. They both get invited to the same dinner party. Mark has to go to a book launch where Bridget speaks, and Bridget's not a very good public speaker. So Bridget, not being a good public speaker, naturally takes a job at a television station as a cub reporter, and has a couple embarrassing reports out there. She slid down a fire pole and everybody saw her bottom. And then she is assigned to go to the courts in London to find out what's happening with a certain case. Mark Darcy is a civil rights lawyer, the most respected civil rights lawyer in Britain, and he is the one who has tried this case. She pops over to get a pack of ciggies and some mints or something, and she runs into Mark, who has just come out of the courthouse. Her cameraman comes and says, Bridget, we've completely fucked it up. They're gone, they're not there. And she's like, oh shit, I'm gonna be fired, they'll sack me. And then Mark turns to her and goes, she said to her cameraman, did anybody else get an interview? And Mark turns to her and he said, no. And she said, how do you know? And he said, because I told them not to give one. And then Mark lets her interview these people, which makes her super famous for however much time. So she and Mark kind of know that they like one another. Mark shows up at her house for a birthday dinner to congratulate her on being the new face of Britain, and her friends show up, but then Hugh Grant shows up. A big fist fight happens between Hugh Grant and Colin Firth out in the street, which, if you've never seen this fight scene, it is the best fight scene in all of film history. I don't care. Not even Jackie Chan can beat this fight. Anyway, stuff happens. Mark has the last hit at Hugh Grant, and Bridget says, I thought you were all nice and normal, but you're not. And Mark said, well, I'm sorry, I've been laboring under some false pretense, and walks away. Mark, in the meantime, has gotten a job in New York, and so Bridget goes to, at the end of the film, goes to her parents for Christmas, and Mark's dad makes the announcement that he's going to New York, and I'm going to leave you there because it's completely and utterly humiliating, embarrassing for her, but yeah, it's one of the sweetest endings to a film, like, ever. And people say that about Love Actually, but I've never seen Love Actually. Don't yell at me. I've not seen it. Not seen it. Yeah, so, oh my god, this is carrying on and on. So, Bridget Jones, definitely 5 candy canes. The next film I'm going to talk about is Christmas Vacation. Now, Christmas Vacation, what can you say about Christmas Vacation? Chevy Chase. Yeah, Beverly D'Angelo. Yeah. Really funny. I mean, I don't even know how to describe this film. I should just... Griswold family. Griswold family Christmas. Clark is doing everything he can to make sure that this Christmas is the best one. He's invited his mom and dad, Beverly D'Angelo's mom and dad, his old aunt and uncle, who were never very nice to him as a child, and Beverly D'Angelo's cousins show up. And they're kind of, well, they don't live like the Griswolds, let's just put it that way. They show up in an old Winnebago camper, like from 1962. It's all rusty and rotten and unpainted, and they bring this dog, and yeah, and they're 2 little kids. They've lost their house. They had to sell off their land, and they ended up buying this RV, and they don't have any money, and yeah, it's very sweet because Chevy Chase and Beverly D'Angelo pay for all the Christmas presents for their 2 kids, which is really, really nice. But at the same time, Eddie and his wife, wow. I can't say anything else but wow. I don't think there's any harm in them whatsoever, don't get me wrong, because there's not. I think inherently they're good people. They're just, different. So anyways, it's very hard to talk about these films in a way, because I don't want to say bad things or disparage people, but their characters sort of evoke those feelings in folks. So, yeah. Anyway, okay, I'm just gonna put this out here. These 2 remind me of my ex-husband's uncle, who shit his pants every time he farted, but he would do it like in my ex-husband's mother's chair, and it was fabric. It was so great. Oh my god, I can't believe I told you guys that. Anyway, it doesn't matter, he's my ex-husband. So anyway, no, I'm not compelled to stop laughing. Anyway, Clark tries to put on this super duper Christmas. He's waiting for a bonus to come from his company. And hello, Blossom. How are you? Come on. Come on, jump up. Sorry, you guys. He's waiting for a bonus check to come. When it finally comes, it is a, come on, Blossom. It is a membership to the Jelly of the Month Club rather than the monetary bonus that he gets every year. I know, baby. And so there's some super upset. Clark flips his lid finally after all of the hello. Come here. Come on. Come on. After all of the trouble that he went to have this super nice Christmas for his whole family, that happens, and everybody's, it's noisy, people are arguing. He flips his lid, and he says in front of Eddie, the cousin, what I want for Christmas, if you're looking for a last minute gift, is my boss stood in this living room so I can kick his ass. And Eddie goes and kidnaps him and brings him back. So I won't talk about it further than that, but it is a pretty funny film. Yeah, so anyway, we're at 17 minutes. I'm really sorry. The last film we're going to talk about, I can do very briefly because if you haven't seen this, wow, is Home Alone. The original Home Alone with Macaulay Culkin, Joe Pesci, and oh god, I'll just put his name down here because I can never remember it. We did watch The Big Lebowski this week too, but it's not a Christmas movie, so we're not going to talk about it. But yeah, so Home Alone, little boy, little sassy. I mean, to be honest with you, if Kevin had been my son, my hand would have been on his high knee in 3 seconds, because my kids would never have spoken to me the way he spoke to his mom in the beginning of this movie, like ever. Of course, I would have been a little bit more attentive if I was flying across the world from Chicago to Paris, and would have helped my son and not shoved him out of my door every 5 minutes. So there you go. I guess respect gets respect. My husband's at work now. He's just sent me a message. 1 second. Hi. Now I have a second film. Anyway, yes, my husband's at work. So yeah. So anyway, all past the naughty behavior. Kevin gets yelled at night, and they sent him up to the 3rd floor in the home to go to sleep. And he says he doesn't want to sleep up there because he doesn't want to sleep with his cousin who wets the bed. And so his mom's like, fine, I will put him somewhere else. The electricity goes out. There's a windstorm. Electricity goes out. They're all rushing around. Dad has thrown out one of the plane tickets in an incident the night before by accident. Some milk got spilled on it. And they do a count, and the count is right because there's a neighbor kid standing in a van with their back to the oldest girl, and they leave Kevin home alone. Now, Joe Pesci and his cohort are, basically casing out the neighborhood because they know people go away at Christmas, so they're looking to rob all the houses, and they do rob a few of the houses. But they're not going to rob Kevin's because Kevin's not going to have any part of it. And so he sets up all these traps for them. He evades them for a couple days and makes them think somebody is at home. But the night that they decide they're going in, because they know he's there by himself, it's sort of let the games begin. Kevin shoots Joe Pesci in the crotch with his BB gun, his brother's BB gun. It's Daniel somebody. I can't remember his last name. The guy that's the other thief with Joe Pesci. Anyways, he shoots him in the forehead. I'm not going to tell you everything that happens in this movie, other than the fact that Kevin befriends a man who lives next door, who his brother's told. Okay. He's friended a guy next door. His brother has told him this guy murdered his wife and keeps her in a garbage bin full of rock salt. And it mummifies people. He murders people. Anyway, somebody's needy today. Yeah. So, lots of fun at the end of this film. A little bit of scary time, but a lot of fun. And I would give, dear, Christmas Vacation gets 5 candy canes, by the way. And I will definitely give Home Alone 5 candy canes. So that's it. What am I up to today? Well, I'm going to do some knitting this morning because I have not knit since Sunday when all the shenanigans started with myself at the house. And so I've gotten nothing done. I did do a lot of cross stitch on Saturday while Ian was watching football, and I got a good start on the straps for the corduroy jumper. The problem with the corduroy jumper is the straps are a pita to make, so The first one isn't great. Kind of ashamed of my work, to be honest. But the second one, I have developed a better way to do it. Yesterday, Blossom and I printed out the pattern pieces for Blossom's Christmas present, which is going to be a stuffed bear that she can rip apart. And so I'm really looking forward to getting that started. Has to be this week, doesn't it? Because Christmas is next week already. Jesus wept to Mary and Joseph. I'm telling you. It came up on us quick. It doesn't last long, does it? Is January depressing for you, by the way? It is depressing for me because like all of my decorations come down. I put a white wreath on my hearth until springtime, and I might have some candles there or something, but I have like no decoration on my house. And my house is, seriously, my house is decorated from the 1st of September until the last day, or the second day of January. Bummer. So, yeah, I'm going to have to figure something out for that. Anyhow, I am going to let you all go. I hope your week has been good. I think somebody here is sleepy and needs a little bit of cuddles. But anyway, I'm going to go get to my knitting after I edit this, and I will see you on Friday for my regular broadcast. So you take care. I will talk to you later. Bye.